great burst and just, with the flash and the stun, able to take him down very quickly. And because Nocturne is down, they are going to get this dragon, and that early dragon control is going to be huge for their team. Pretty even with kills so far, though Unrestricted is in a little bit of an advantage, and now with the dragon they will continue their, to kind of create a lead here, and then, with their lane control and their farming capabilities, as we take a look, are they going to get it? No. Let's see, Scion 78, Brand 66, so he is winning that lane. Misfortune beating Vayne. Talon, I can guarantee, actually Galio is beating Talon in CS. That's a little bit surprising, but Talon has kind of been running around for a little bit, and those deaths kind of do prevent you from farming. So that's a little bit unfortunate. He will want to farm some, but he's doing pretty well. So that farm advantage, generally speaking, in favor of Team Unrestricted, will allow them to, potentially take control as this game goes forward. And they really, they kind of have Terran OP on the defensive. Galio will throw on the shield, but he's going to take a lot of damage. He's generally going to be okay. He's got all that armor, and he does have the regen from the shield, so he's going to get out of there. A little more damage, and maybe, Talon would have gone in for that kill with his ultimate. But unfortunately, he's going to be pushing here and missing out on some creeps. Nocturne is going to take advantage of this, and that'll help Nocturne get back in the game. He's only level 6 at this point, which is, once again, very far behind. He's not going to be able to be in as much control of the fights, and not really helping out these lanes as well as he could be. I've yet to see Nocturne kind of gank any of these lanes, really. Which is a little bit surprising. You really want to take advantage of those early fights when, Nocturne can run in and not have to fear about the entire team bursting him down. Especially with the disables bot and the damage. I would be a little bit more expecting them to come bot. He did try and have that gank earlier, but he was only level 5 at the time. And Vayne throwing off some excellent damage, and Stone actually had a reward here. Great decision, and Galio teleporting in. Very late teleport, didn't really afford them anything, so, unfortunately Talon will be farming top and be able to probably push down this tower. In the meantime, while they're pushing mid, Brand is going to come up, and Nocturne is here, going to try and chase them down. They are going to just kind of let them go. But, Galio, I think there was kind of a miscommunication. Galio was thinking, I'll ult on top of them, but Vayne was thinking, I'm going to get the damage already, and so Vayne almost picking up the kill. But Galio was kind of there for no reason, and unfortunately, as a result, Talon is going to farm some more and be able to probably take this tower. It's going to be very close to whether or not Galio can get up there. And that, early tower is going to be huge, especially with this creep wave here. Galio can clear the creep wave pretty quickly, but Talon is going to pick up this tower. And so, unfortunately, trying to be very aggressive going in on that teleport, really not the best decision because the timing wasn't there exactly. So top is down, mid is almost down, and bot's a pretty even lane. They are chasing after the Sona ult, and Nocturne was down here coming up the river. They are able to pick up the Jaina kill, but Misfortune dealing a ton of damage is able to pick up Sona. They do see Scion coming down. They will need to watch out, so they are going to be okay getting out there. But Misfortune, with her AoE, can probably just hold this lane. Brand throwing off some damage, gets the Pillar of Fire onto Talon. Just a little bit of Talon harassing back, but if you can get Talon down low enough where you can catch him off guard and burst him down, then that's he's definitely pretty soft as a champion. But Scion coming in, he does get the stun onto Galio, just throwing off a little bit of harass. Talon on top of Nocturne, he throws off the slow. Is he going to throw off the ultimate? And Nocturne actually flashing out of there. Gangplank had his ultimate on as well. That would have been a significant amount of damage. Nocturne would have gone down. But this tower is very low. They're going to try and push it down. And Galio flashing in, ulting on top of them. Brand ult on top. But the bounces, unfortunately, aren't very, beneficial to them. Talon flashed away and took those bounces with him. And there wasn't enough damage to take him down. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't get a stun on any of them. They did have the Galio ult, which, really holds them in place for Brand to throw all of his stuff. But it seemed like Brand was a little bit behind. And I don't know if Galio canceled his ult a little bit early. It seemed like it was a full ult, but Brand was definitely a little bit behind there, so unfortunately they weren't able to pick up those kills. Dragon should be spawning in about a minute. 17:39, so yes, it is a minute and a half until the next dragon, and we'll definitely see some action there. I believe that Unrestricted is going to have the advantage in that fight. Terran OP really does have a lot of damage. They do have the nice AoEs, which is really going to help them out. So potentially if they get their AoEs onto Unrestricted, they are going to definitely be in the advantage if they can get that coordinated fight that they want. But when you're disorganized around the jungle, then you do need to watch out. Cyan is coming up here. He is going to be able to steal this. He flashes over, trying to see if he can pick up a kill like last time. And Brand is being chased down. He did throw off a little bit of damage. They're not going to be able to do much more to him. The stun isn't there with Cyan. But that blue is really going to hurt. Having Cyan just be able to spam all day, he can just walk up to creep waves in lanes and push the lane without you really having to control over it. They are chasing down Talon a little bit here. He is invisible. He should be able to get out. Yes, he is fine. But Terran OP, they're all kind of low right now. They are going to have to recall. They need to recall right now so that they'll be back in time for Dragon. They are able to take mid. So once again, furthering their map advantages unrestricted. They will need some ward control. I would expect Janna to buy in Oracles. That will really benefit her a lot as far as the team control is concerned, because they need map control. Terran OP has a complete team fight oriented team. They want to have organized team fights, so they need wards themselves to set up those fights. But if Unrestricted continues to have control of the map, then Terran OP isn't going to be able to get the fights that they want. And Unrestricted can use their burst and their disable from Scion and then chase people down and stuff like that, which is really what they're looking to do with their great movement speed. They do have very mobile champions. They are setting up around Dragon. I don't believe Galio's ult is up. Yeah, actually, it is down. But Talon is up there as well. He is a little bit low, so unfortunately he's not going to be able to be as strong as he would like to be in fights, but he does have that invisibility and that kind of kiting capability, so he will generally be okay. They should try. I mean, they really shouldn't let them have this Dragon. They should try and get a good engage. But it'll be difficult if they do have the Janna to kind of prevent them from engaging, and if they don't go in at the right time, if they aren't very coordinated on this, then Unrestricted could potentially kind of burst people down one at a time, and it'll become kind of just this hectic mess. But they do have a really strong teamfight team if they can get all those damaging abilities off and control the fight. They are pushing down mid some here, and that'll really help them a lot. They do want to kind of control the lanes because the lanes are much easier to kind of coordinate a fight in, and it will be much more difficult for Unrestricted to get the kind of fights that they want. But Gangplank is pulling this tower off. Galio coming in, being very aggressive. He does have the armor, but he doesn't have a lot of magic resist, so he's going to take a lot of damage to Cyan if Cyan turns on him. And they look like they're going to try and go after this Dragon, but they really shouldn't. They should back up. Nocturne is going to kind of attack it a little bit. They are going to back up here. Talon trying to come in on the backside. And Janna chasing after them. The Gangplank, they're going to pick off Sona here. Sona dies immediately, and Galio does throw off the ultimate. Brand throwing off the ultimate, but they're not able to pick anyone off, and Sona didn't get to do anything in those fights. Nocturne flashing in on top of Janna, but Janna throws off her ultimate, and Talon is going to go down to Vayne here. He goes invisible. He's not going down. Gangplank goes down, almost goes down, but they pick up the Galio kill, and everyone on Unrestricted is able to survive that fight. Just kind of able to kite around, and Terran OP not able to pick up stuff, but excellent job. The stun from Brand followed up by the knock into the wall by Vayne, and they're just able to burst down Misfortune really quickly, so that helps them out a lot. But really just huge fight for Unrestricted. They are able to pick up this Dragon, and that's really putting them out in the lead right now, and that's really what they want. They have an aggressive early game team that's they do scale very well in the late game, but they don't have, really the best teamfight team. They have a single target focus, and that's what they want. They want those disorganized fights where, boom, they have this cutoff point. Sona walking behind her team has to walk around this bend, and so they're able to get in on Sona, pick up that kill. Then Galio's coming in. He's, they're kind of like panicking. They're like, oh my gosh, we got to get this damage out. When really at that point they probably needed to run away and just regroup, because that was a lost fight from the beginning. As we do look at items, we see that Gangplank is going very aggressive with that movement speed. He is going to be building towards a Trinity Force probably, but he could go a couple of ways with that. And I'm not sure if he's going to be building it for the crit. I don't generally like crit Gangplank, but the movement speed is really going to help him a lot, along with the raised morale. Misfortune also has movement speed. She's got the built-in movement speed, but she's really farmed right now. She does have that attack damage. And then Talon has actually built a Yumu, so he's got a lot of movement speed too. And that's really what they're looking to do. They have the Janna passive. They all have very high mobility champions, so they're going to look to kind of move around as Terran OP is trying to engage these fights. They're going to use their movement advantage to kite them back and forth. Janna can throw down the whirlwind, and they can kind of chase away until Terran OP gets into a bad position, just like they were there and then they can jump on him real quick. And Talon coming in, throwing off a ton of damage onto Nocturne. Nocturne very close to going down, but the fear onto Talon will help him out there, and he's still chasing. His shield is down, so Talon will try and get this kill, and he does pick up the kill very quickly. He should have kind of expected how much damage he was going to take there. Talon is kind of trapped. He's going to maybe flash over this wall, but he knows Brand is there. Misfortune kind of chasing to help him out. She throws off the ultimate, and Talon backs up for a second, so he can avoid that ultimate, and Misfortune able to pick up that kill. They flash over the wall. They're chasing after Galio. Is Talon going to be able to get his slur? The whirlwind, perfect whirlwind from Janna, able to pick up that kill, and now they're going to get another tower. Vayne is pushing bottom because they recognize they're in a really bad situation right here, so they want to farm and, you know, be able to farm up their items in order to get back into this game so that they can have stronger team fights as the game progresses. But Sion is chasing down Vayne. Vayne throws him into the wall, but she didn't burst the shield. She might have wanted to attack him one more time to burst down that shield. She is going to be able to get out of there, fortunately. As we continue to take a look at items, we do see that Galio has a catalyst. He doesn't have much gold, so he is pretty late in this game. He hasn't been farming that well, and unfortunately not able to get any kills, so he's definitely behind in farm. He will be looking for that Banshee's Veil so he can be a little more aggressive. Brand, you know, again, doesn't have very good farm. He does have a couple of kills, but really you want him to see like a Rabadon's at this time. He is building towards it. The Sona ult, and Brand not able to pick up the damage. Oh, where is the damage? All they could get is one Pillar of Flame onto that Janna. They needed to pick up a Janna kill there. You know, really, it's a shame to see them using all these abilities and not able to pick up these kills. But Vayne, is she able to get the kill? No, she knocks Janna away. Janna did have that shield. She was hoping to get the third shot for that passive. Continuing to look at items, we see that Nocturne is building towards the Yumu's. He still hasn't finished his boots, which is a little bit surprising, especially when the enemy has such great movement speed. But Nocturne does have that engage. He needs to hit level 11 so that the range on his ultimate can increase and allow him to be a little more aggressive in these fights. Vayne did start off with those Wriggles, which is a strong laning item. It did allow her to, you know, do very well as far as farming is concerned and win that lane. But it's not really going to help her out that much in team fights, and unfortunately they haven't been getting the dragons, so they haven't been able to take advantage of it there. So really she's behind. You know, she's doing a generally good job, but you know, just by the fact of getting Wriggles, and that's the issue of Wriggles. It does give you that early advantage, but she actually does buy a Black Cleaver here. She is close to Zeal, so that'll really help them out a lot to have that damage once they get that damage going. But they really need to kind of work on their focus and get a lot of burst in these fights. They need more wards. Sona does have some wards in her inventory, but they need to know what's going on. I would assume that Janna has an Oracles, has probably been clearing out some of these wards. I'll have to check her next time I see her. But they need to, you know, get a good engage, and you know, then really it's anyone's game if they can get that good engage. They definitely don't want any more, you know, fights like they've been having because already Unrestricted is at a huge advantage, and pretty soon they could just use their damage output so that even if Terran OP has a stronger teamfight team, they are going to be able to use that damage, and they don't have any vision of Baron. They are coming out here. They do recognize that it's a threat, and Galio ulting, only able to pick up 2 with him, and he does go down very quickly. Nocturne ulting in, almost able to pick up the Janna kill, but Janna ults away, and Vayne is going to be able to take out the Sion. Yes, she does. She throws off the exhaust because Sion was healing after her, and now she's chasing down Talon. Excellent job here. Can they pick up the Talon kill? Nocturne has an Oracle, so they are able to pick up this kill, but Brand goes down. Talon, with his dying breath, able to pick up that kill, and now Nocturne is coming out to check out some wards, but, you know, it wasn't the prettiest fight, but you... Excuse me. It wasn't the prettiest fight, but you saw that great damage output that Terran OP has, and Vayne, you know, now that she's got that Brutalizer, she's really just taking control, and she's, you know, looked pretty good in these fights. She just didn't really have the damage output, and now she does, and she was kind of just chasing people down. Galio went down pretty quickly, but, you know, they kind of had them disorganized, and that's what they want. You know, they weren't able to focus people down because you saw some of them had to go up towards the top, some of them had to go down towards the bottom, and so Unrestricted wasn't able to get that focus that they like. Woo! We do see that Galio probably building a... he could really be building anything. He might be building a Randuin's. He could also be building a Aegis. They really probably needed an Aegis for their team because they do have the Misfortune damage. They do have the Talon damage. And Sion, you know, all that AoE damage, is, particularly with Talon, the bonus armor and magic resist to the team would really help them out a lot. Sion, very aggressive with his item builds. He does have that Rabadon's. Brand, unfortunately, doesn't have the Rabadon's yet. And Talon chasing after Sona here. She is going to be okay. Brand really needs to get that Rabadon's out shortly. He probably is close to getting it on this next recall. And that'll really help them out if they can get the Brand damage, because that's really what they're lacking right now. You know, Terran OP needs that burst to be able to organize a fight and then take people down. Sion being very aggressive. They have this warded, and Janet does have that Oracles.